Can you really create viral content, increase your reach, and finally see your work paying off just by copying what's already working? I know it sounds too simple, but it really works. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. After nearly a decade of refining this method, I've watched my own results explode. My Medium readership grew by 300%, my YouTube channel doubled, and my AI community grew into a 5-figure income in just a few months. And you can also turn your passion into consistent online sales by mastering this exact strategy. I'm going to share all of it with you in this video. Content creators are standing at the edge of a brand new economy, powered by artificial intelligence and blockchain. There's gold in them there hills, but most of us are digging blind. We put in hours of work designing content, social media videos, but most of it flops. It's frustrating. When your best work goes ignored, it's hard not to take it personally. But the real problem isn't the algorithm, it's where we are putting our attention. So if you're still emotionally invested in content that failed, you're going to stay stuck. But today I'm introducing a free swipe and share strategy. It's a simple and powerful framework that leverages AI to replicate your best results and the top performing content in your niche in just a few minutes. Now, I was shocked by how dramatically my audience reaction shifted when I applied this. We've had people who were relieved and excited because this provides them clarity so quickly. This finally makes sense. I've never felt more confident when I'm hitting publish. So be sure to stay till the end because I'm giving away the 5-step process so that you can do this for yourself. It's totally free and it really works. If you're trying to build a content business or sell anything online, chances are these days you're probably stuck in these two modes. You're staring at a blank page trying to be original, or you're publishing stuff that no one's really paying attention to. So here's an easy truth that I was avoiding as a creator. I should not invest in learning a brand new skill. The thing is, we don't need new content ideas. We need to share better versions of the ideas that have already worked. And I know because I've been sitting there with hundreds of pieces of content wondering why 5 pieces took off while the rest of them were gathering digital dust. It's easy to spiral into frustration and compare efforts to outcome and then start feeling really stuck. But that's exactly the mindset that guarantees more failure. Here's what I've realized. The creators who win in the AI content game aren't the ones that just never fail. They're the ones that watch what works and they repeat it with enthusiasm, not frustration. So if you've been stuck focusing on what didn't work, I hope this will help you pivot. I'm going to show you how to use your best results as fuel and bring excitement back into the grind. So let's be objective. You've created a ton of content and chances are most of it went nowhere. Your mind may fixate on the unrewarded effort. Suppose that you find yourself replaying in your mind how long it took to film that video, or how clever that blog post was, and how unfair it is that nobody saw it. You may want to tell the story of your effort because you want it to matter. And when it's not getting results, you may carry that frustration into your next piece of content and it will show. Because you are not excited, you are a little bitter. But even in that struggle, there is an answer, and I'm going to share my personal steps with you. I know because I've done this too. I would look back at my 95 content failures and I would want to tell myself this sad story that it should have worked. Is the algorithm broken? Why am I even doing this? Meanwhile, those 5 top performers out of my 100 content pieces, the ones that did connect, the ones that really brought in the results, they are just sitting there waiting for me to study them. And here's the shift. What if, instead of focusing on the truth of what failed, we only focus on the truth of what worked? And this is the shift that changed everything for me. I went back through my prior content pieces and I stopped worrying about how I felt about them, and I just looked at the numbers, the number of views, the click-through, the watch rate, the subscribers, and I quickly identified my top 5 performers. These are the gold mines. These ones cut through the noise. They connected with the audience. So I want to analyze this content like a detective. What were the topics? What was my mood when I made them? What AI tools did I use? What was I talking about? What was the format? What was the hook I used? What was the tone that I used? Was I excited when I hit the publish button? Was I feeling confident? I need to radiate that energy. Not just copy the topic, but I need to copy the feeling. Now, the reason I have this feeling is because this content matches my skill set. It matches where my interests are. So I put that into the content. Now we have one piece of the puzzle and we need this second one, the swipe and shape method. This is where we go and identify the top performers in our niche. We go to the accounts that are ahead of us. They have more followers. They've got more reach and engagement. And we go to their videos and we look for the ones that are most popular with most views and likes, and they still have a good view per hour statistic on them as well by using vidIQ as a tool. So I go through all their content, I find their best stuff, and then I find the videos or the content that matches my top performing stuff. This is my creative sweet spot. Now I'm going to take my creative sweet spot and I'm going to break down what the top performers are doing with their content. How was their post structured? What was their transcript? What emotional triggers did they use? Was it curiosity? Did they have inspiration in their videos? Instead of starting from scratch, the market has already told us what works. We're going to model the winners, we're going to remix it into our style, and then ride the wave of demand. The content that gets rewarded is the content that connects. So we're going to reverse engineer that connection. We're going to learn from the framework of the top competitors and we're going to swap out the brand. We'll insert our personality, our stories, and our point of view and create a variation of our most successful content using the strategies from the best performers in our niche. This way, it becomes easy to use our voice, stay within our skill set and our experience while matching a proven format. When a piece of content is already performing well for us and for somebody else in our niche, it means the audience has already spoken. They are hungry for this message, this format, and this tone. So instead of guessing, instead of learning a brand new skill, model your past success and expand your audience to help more people. This is a total mindset shift. We are letting the audience show us what they want, and then we're giving it to them in our voice. We're studying the patterns, we are decoding demand because great content leaves a trail that we can follow. The algorithm promoted it because the audience engaged with it, and now it's our turn to adapt it. So why is it that most creators remain stuck? Here's something I want you to consider. Most people stay stuck because we can't stop emotionally investing in our failures. We carry this frustration from last week's flopped content into this week's strategy. And life may not be making it easier for you. Maybe you are struggling. Maybe your car's on the fritz. Maybe your credit card is getting maxed out and you have to check your bank balance before you go to buy groceries. This is real. This is not just a mindset issue. Your brain has been pushed into survival mode. And this is where our choice comes in. And this is where our choice can overcome that survival mode. We can decide which pieces we focus on. We can choose to focus on what worked and reclaim our momentum. Because when you're excited about your ideas, you get confident about the smallest next steps and you start to get curious about how far this can go. You start to create very different content. It lands differently because it has that spark. This spark will attract the right people, the right opportunities, and yes, better numbers. But it all starts with knowing this strategy of focusing on what works. And now to finish the video, I want to get practical and talk about what happens when you only focus on what works. Before we get there, let's go back just a second to that frustration loop. We need to be familiar with it so that we can choose against it. You're going to feel stuck. You feel like your content isn't taking off. You look at your financial situation, it's a mess. You're watching people online and you're stuck wondering, what am I missing? Well, you've got to know that the answer isn't in your hustle. You're working hard. It's not about working more hours, and it's not about forcing yourself to create something when you're feeling drained. The answer is to focus on those few things that worked and do it with excitement. When you build from your wins, you naturally feel more creative. You easily get more done in less time. The content that you make actually connects with your audience, and you start to see results that you can build on. 6 months from now, you will not be in the same place. You will be in a better one with better content, better tools, and better numbers to back you up. Now, here's the magic. We're focusing on what is already successful for us, and we're going to show our audience our work. We're going to document our process and share our results. We become the living case study, and then you invite your audience along. This works because you are learning from the front of the pack. You're learning from your best performing content and from the best performing in your niche. These creators are already crushing it. They've figured out what the audience is responding to. So we're modeling this content and we're doubling down in real time. So we're going to apply this knowledge and we'll show that this isn't theory. You're building your business by practicing what works. This repetition is going to make you more skilled and more fluent. You'll start seeing your own data and that begins to give you traction. Now, if you're teaching as you go, you become the translator for everyone who's confused and overwhelmed about all of these AI tools. You show that you're one step ahead and people start to follow because they need that path. When you begin to think about your content as your own university, then these AI tools become your classroom and your competitors and your audience become your professors. Your content is your homework and your audience is watching you take the exam. They're learning from your example. So here's that 5-step plan. We're going to pick our mentors and identify 3 to 5 top performing creators in our space that match our best performing content. These are our unofficial teachers because they've already cracked the code. We're going to copy to learn. We're going to use our own top performing posts and the best performing from others, and we're going to deconstruct the hook, the layout, the content, the call to action. Then we're going to create our own version of this that answers the questions that our audience is already having so that we can teach them how to do things. Then we're going to track and show our results to our audience. What worked? What didn't? What surprised you? We're going to let our audience watch us learn in public because that transparency builds trust and it builds your tribe. And the final step, this is the big one. This is when we turn our process into an agency and we start to offer our solutions to other businesses. You're showing that success is buildable and that you are doing it. So here's the bottom line. You likely don't have to become an expert in anything else. You are already a specialist. You just now need to be in motion, studying the best, applying what works, and turning your journey into the roadmap for others. You're going to model it, you're going to do it, you're going to show it, and then you're going to teach it. That's the loop, that's the brand, and that's the business. What's the big takeaway for today? Your past doesn't predict your future. You're not stuck. You just haven't learned to listen to your own data. There's no guru who knows your audience better than your top 5 posts. So do this now. Go back through your top 100 posts. Find your top 5 winners. Bring them to AI and study the hell out of them. Recreate the mindset that you had when you made them. Then you can start using automation to repeat this success. And most importantly, get excited again. It's the energy that creates the viral content, the belief that attracts your audience. That's the shift that makes it all worth doing. You're not building from scratch. You're building from proof. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you found this inspiring, share this with a friend. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more. Stay safe, everyone. Here's to your success.